All right, what are we looking at here? I have an Alexa camera, and it's the popular camera of choice at this point. It is a Super 35 sensor. It has a huge dynamic range. It has just a really pretty picture. It's very sensitive. It's just a great camera. People really love shooting with it. They love it so much that it's moving out of its traditional market, if you will, of feature films and TV series and high-end commercials, moving into other types of production that traditionally you might use other types of cameras for, such as, well, a lot of our clients are looking to use it in documentary type production work, more run and gun type work that you might traditionally use a 2/3 inch shoulder mount type camera in. And well, we had to help them out, make all these things work for them. The first thing was audio, because those cameras are really designed to have everything just strapped right on and off you go. Well, this camera has excellent audio recording, but it's more designed to have a separate audio mixer or audio person and sending a feed into the camera. There's not really traditional mounting points on the camera for it, as well as there's not mic levels input on the camera. You only have a line level input, which is fine. That's what comes out of a mixer, but you don't have that coming out of your microphone. So, well, what did we do? We found a way to put a mixer on the camera. This is the MixPre-D from Sound Devices, and it's just a sweet little compact unit, very full featured actually, but it's quite small. It's pretty much the smallest thing you could get. And you can see you have nice level meters there. You've got a bunch of controls. You have a full featured small mixer right here on the camera. And in this, I mean, we have a special bolt here that we figured out so that we could mount it at this position, and you can actually loosen this and spin it around. You could have it facing back, so you could have it spin facing the other way. I kind of like it this position because then when it's on my shoulder, I can look up and I can see the controls, and someone, if I had an assistant, he could like see past my head and see where the controls are. So that's nice in that particular setup. This is feeding into the an input on the front of the camera, right there. That is where audio goes in with a single 5-pin XLR, so we made a cable for that. This whole kit, we have sort of a recommended kit, if you will, that, you know, with all these bits and pieces, and so you can link to that, and you see get all these bits and pieces, including the special cables. You have a wireless mic that I just figured I'd Velcro right on top, but you could also take that off and put it on the back. We actually have this plate right here is for powering the MixPre, and it's an Anton Bauer plate that just goes between the battery mount and the battery. When ARRI asked Anton Bauer for these mounts, and there's also a V-mount available for the camera, they really designed the camera in the film production style way, so they have their power ports on the camera, but the people in the 2/3 inch world are used to having P-tap connectors for traditional video type production. So this adds it. It's basically just a plate that sandwiches between it, the battery and the battery mount, and it has 4 P-tap outputs so that you can run power off the battery. You also have the option of this device from Anton Bauer, which takes 2 batteries. They call it a hot swap. This is a one that's specifically for the Alexa because it has this mounting point here that you can put a plate and you can put your wireless mic there. And in fact, that's actually kind of nice because then you could put all of this back there if you wanted, but you could put your wireless mic right back here, and it keeps it a little lower profile, and it puts a little bit of weight, you know, not that it weighs much, but it puts it towards the back so that it helps balance the camera a little bit better. The traditional hot swap device from Anton Bauer had this plate right here on the side, and they had to make a special one for Alexa because Alexa has all these connectors on the side, and they would interfere if you were like feeding a signal to a monitor. So they made this one especially just for the Alexa. You also have on here a mic. This is a Sennheiser 416, but you can put various other microphones on here, and we had to come up with a way that we could mount the microphone. So we have this K-Tech mic mount. Just tilt that over so you can see. We figured out a special bolt configuration so that we could stick that on there and mount it on nice and rigid, and it has some adjustment and such. And if you wanted to, you could actually mount it up on top with the same bolting and such, so that you could clear map boxes if you needed to get past stuff. So I like it to here, it kind of tucks out of the way, it's nice and neat. And we just made some short cables to keep it all compact. And you can see that the MixPre-D had a display, the meters on it, but you also have meter display on the camera itself, just in their audio circuit, so you can just leave that display up. If you had a separate sound person, they would be able to see that. And it all neatly configures together. Now lastly, the other thing, it's not audio, and that is sort of the audio kitting, but we also have this lens configuration on the front. This is the HD by 35 B4 to PL optical adapter. What that allows you to do is take a 2/3 inch lens. In this case, I have a Canon 14 by zoom, and it will let that 2/3 inch lens cover the full sensor of the Super 35 imager. Now, why would I want to do this? Well, this is a 14 by zoom, and look how small it is. And otherwise, you'd be, if you try to, a 14 by doesn't even exist for 35 millimeter, but if it did, it would weigh 25 pounds and be 2 feet long. It would be a giant thing. This allows you to go handheld with this rig. Just put this up here, put my hand grip in there. It's a very comfortable setup. I have full motorized zoom control. The zoom is actually plugged in over here, and it's quite comfortable on the shoulder. This balances out very nicely. I have the zoom control, I have the trigger, so I can actually run stop the camera with this configuration, and it makes for an ENG style shoot. Now, I don't say that this is the way to shoot everything with Alexa, but it's a way you can do it if you needed to, and it's a very quality way. You get a great image out of it, and it works nicely together, and it's all available from AbelCine.